Good morning and welcome to day 85 of Geriatric 1944's relentless rambling coronavirus diaries. You didn't know, did you, that the coronavirus COVID-19 affects the brain, especially 75-year-olds, and it turns one's brain into jelly. So I do apologise if I'm basically talking shit day after day. A lovely day yesterday. It was the beginning of the lockdown being over, and to celebrate I went up to Liverpool to do some work. Essential travelling for work purposes, and made some new records. I'll be telling you all about that later on. With the mighty Steve Levine, who has a brilliant studio up there in Liverpool that I use for a lot of things. Steve started off, which I didn't know until he phoned me years later, started off as a tape operator at CBS Studios in Whitfield Street. And apparently one of his first sessions, which we're coming up to celebrate the anniversary of at any moment, was when I was making a song of mine called Una Paloma Blanca, which turned out to be a very big hit. And Steve was working on that. And seeing the way the whole thing worked, it's when he decided not to remain a tape operator, but to become a record producer. And he did so hugely successfully. Amongst his huge hits were all the Culture Club Boy George smashes, Do You Really Want to Hurt Me, and all that lot. So Steve is actually a fine, award-winning producer in his own right. And he's also now got his own studios, and we've become very close friends, and as a result, I tend to do a lot of music with him up there. So that was a lovely day, and I've made some great new tracks, which I'm hoping you're going to be hearing very shortly. But it did strike me. It was a lovely day as well. The sun was shining. The trains were on time. The sun was beautiful on the countryside of Great Britain, all the way from Euston to Liverpool, and then down again from Liverpool down to London. And it was great, actually, looking out and seeing our beautiful countryside. There is nowhere prettier in the world than when the sun shines in the summer than the United Kingdom. I have to say, despite all my reservations about it. Anyway, I was looking back at some of the hits I've had in the past, and one of my big summer hits, which actually wasn't that big, I think it was top 20 in the United Kingdom. It made number 34 on the Billboard charts over in America, and it sold about 1 million, 2 million copies around the world, and then, of course, went on to compilations where it sold many millions more. That's where you really do get big sales, although not, sadly, much money, because, of course, it's normally shared with another 20 different tracks on there, and so by the time you get your royalty, it's pence rather than pounds, but it does mean you sell millions and millions of the bloody things. And this was a lovely song written by Hoagy Carmichael and Johnny Mercer. And the story goes that Johnny Mercer, who was the lyric writer, arrived at Hoagy's flat in New York at one point and came in, and because he had his own key, they were really good friends as well, and Hoagy was lying on the sofa having a snooze in the middle of the day, and Johnny Mercer roared with laughter and said, "My God, what a Lazybones. We're going to write a song now called Lazybones." Hoagy woke up, went to the piano. Johnny Mercer stood there and wrote the lyric. Hoagy wrote the tune. Within 20 minutes, it was completed. It's one of my very favourite songs, and I love my version of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate the summer arriving with Jonathan King and his 1971 smash multi-million seller, Lazybones. Bow, sleeping in the sun. See you tomorrow.
Lazybones, sleeping in the sun. How you gonna get your day's work done? Never get your day's work done. Sleeping in the noonday sun. Lazybones, sleeping in the shade. How you gonna get your cornmeal made? Never get your cornmeal made. Sleeping in the evening shade. When taters need spraying, I bet you keep praying the slugs fall off of the vine. fish won't nip your line. Lazy bones, love and holiday. How you gonna make a dime that way? Never make a dime that way. You never hear a word I say. Never make a dime that way. Hey, you never hear a word I say. Lazy bones, sleeping in the sun. How you gonna get your day's work done? Never get your day's work done. Sleeping in the noonday sun. Hey, lazy bones, sleeping in the sun. Lazy bones, sleeping in the sun. Lazy bones.